Today I'm at FMI, which is the Northeastern Vehicle Press Fleet Management Company for GM, BMW, and Mini. When the press need to review their cars for their publications, this is where they come to check them out. Coming up on today's episode, we're going to be talking about one of my biggest OCD pet peeves, a filthy, contaminated windshield. It's all coming up today on this episode of Drive Clean. Today we're working on the 2013 CTSV Sport Wagon press vehicle in the limited edition Stealth Blue. And this thing is a beast. And I know it's a beast because it's got bugs all over the windshield, which I can barely see through. And as most detailers will tell you, it's a huge pain in the butt to properly clean glass. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All the steps on removing the contaminants and getting that perfect shine so when you're driving, there's nothing that you're looking through. Today we're going to do just that. There are a couple benefits to having a clean windshield. Well, obviously in perfect weather, you're going to have a great looking windshield and you can see right through it, no problems. But the big one is during bad weather. You want to prepare for that. And the one thing is when those little things that are embedded and jammed in your glass, they're going to catch the water and it's going to stay on your windshield a little bit longer. So when you have a nice clean surface, it's going to fly right off, making it safer when you're driving. And another benefit is it actually saves wear and tear on your windshield wipers. Because if you have those things sticking up, biting at the windshield wiper, you're going to go through them much faster. You're going to have reduced visibility. Before we can get started with cleaning the glass, it's important to understand the towels that you're using. And we have 4 of them here. Well, this is a waffle towel, and it's really great at scraping off the bugs. I call this my all-in-one, and it's a waffle towel because it looks like a waffle. And we have our 3 other ones. We have a high pile microfiber towel, we have a low pile microfiber towel, and we have a medium pile microfiber towel, each of which has different uses when cleaning the glass. All right, the next thing you want to do is pull up the windshield wipers to get them off the glass. Then you're going to take your glass cleaner. This happens to be Invisible Glass by Stoner. And what you're going to do is give a few squirts, and right now you're using that as lubrication. So what I like to do is spread it in just a little bit, so you're not actually cleaning anything right now, you're just getting some lubrication, because your next step is going to be your long reach razor blade. And what's important about this is your angle. So we're going to make sure that it's not too high and not too low. What this is going to do is it's actually going to shave the glass down, and anything that's sticking up, kind of like your whiskers here, it's going to shave everything off. It's going to get the closest clean that you possibly can do. There's a bug right there. And if you'll notice, going in short little strokes, you can see not too far down and not too far up, right in the middle there. And if you notice in all this little water that's dripping down here is full of contamination and bugs. So you're just going to keep moving along. Kind of like you're plowing the glass, if you will. All right. Sorry, guys, just taking this big piece of glass. Now that you've razor bladed the glass, take your short pile microfiber towel and just clean it up real quick, just to get all the gunk off. Look at that. So that's a clean piece of glass. Put this to the side. You're going to add your glass cleaner once again as lubrication. Get that in there. I like to spread it around just a little bit. Then you're going to take your clay, lubricate the clay. Now you're going to put a little bit of pressure. Normally on paint, you don't use pressure. It's all about friction. Because glass is very hard, you still want to use some friction, but you can also put just a little bit more pressure than you would with paint. Now what this is doing is kind of like when you have a pimple on your face, you're going to pull it out of the skin. Now we shaved it with the razor blade, and now you're just getting anything that you didn't get with the razor. So you're gonna have really clean and fresh glass. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's a bunch of gunk right in there. All right, you're gonna take your short pile once again and clean up the mess. All right. On to the next step. Now, if you were going out for a drive, this might be good enough for just going out and having a Sunday drive. But if you want to go the full steps, this is what you would do. So this, to remind you, is a regular microfiber cutting pad. It's a little bit thinner microfiber cutting pad. This is a glass polishing pad. As you can see, it's much thinner. And the reason why is glass is much harder, so you're not going to need a backing plate to absorb any of that pressure. You want it all to go to the glass so that you can polish it properly. So what we're going to do is grab a machine, put some product on there, and start polishing. So now we got a little bit of glass polish on our glass polishing pad. Rub it in with our finger. And much like polishing the paint, throw the cord over your shoulder. You're going to work a 2x2 area, which is basically, we're going to go a little bit more than half here. So tap, 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 just a little tap. And now you're going to turn it on 2 and spread it in. Turn it off. Now boost it all the way up to 6 on your DA polisher. And you're going to put some pressure down and just work it in like you would paint. Here I'm using glass polish and a glass polishing pad from Garreau's Garage. Also notice that I'm using a Porter Cable DA polisher along with a backing plate with no cushion and a glass polishing pad with no cushion either. The combination of no foam cushions increases the power applied to the glass from the machine and subsequently allows me to use what's regarded as a less powerful polisher according to today's standards. Once you're done polishing the glass, there's going to be a bit of residue. So that's when you take your high pile microfiber towel, and you're just going to scoop all this off. Like this. Flip it over a few times. There's a nice shine on this, but we've got a few more steps to go through. All right, so now that I picked off all that residue that's in there, you're going to go back to your low pile microfiber towel. Now we're just going to clean off all the edges and make sure that it's still looking good. There's no leftover polish. And you can actually feel the difference. It's very smooth right now compared to when I started. All right, so now that we're done with the polishing, we're going to do one more quick clean to remove any of the polish. You're going to take your low pile microfiber towel and work it in again. Now, one of the big questions I get is about ammonia in the glass cleaner. Now, ammonia is typically a home-based glass cleaning product because there's lots of grime on your house windows and things like that, and ammonia is great degreaser. But in the automotive industry, you don't really need it, and there's kind of a concern when you have window tints because sometimes it adversely affects the window tint. So we don't really need ammonia, and invisible glass by Stoner is a perfect solution for that. So here we go, it looks pretty good. Now we're on to putting a really strong coating on this glass, and we'll move to the interior. All right, my next step is to add a hydrophobic coating to the glass. Now, most people know Rain-X, but there's tons of other longer lasting products out there. So what you do is you add a few squirts to a foam applicator pad, or this little piece of foam that I have here. What you're gonna do, you're gonna use small circular motions. I think by now most of you know I'm not crazy about circles, but on glass, because you're trying to penetrate the top layer of that glass, circles is a good option. Short overlapping motions, and you're just going to work the
Here
rest
I
of
demonstrated using Rain-X
windshield.
because it's the cheapest, easiest, and quite frankly, the most familiar one out there. Nowadays, there are dozens of other coatings, so pick the brand you're most comfortable with. However, the application process is basically the same.
A few more squirts. Right, now the product is dry, what you want to do is give just a few little squirts of your glass cleaner. You want to take off the top layer of this hydrophobic product, and you'll see it just comes right off. But sometimes it's nice to add a little bit of glass cleaner because this can dry to a little bit of a hard haze, I like to say. Now you want to go add a few more squirts now that it's off and really clean the windshield nicely. Now my last little step I like to do is I use the high microfiber towel. I flip it over, do one quick little squirt, and this will get off any little streaks. And the idea is to move your head and catch the light and see if you see any odd streaks. There's nothing worse than driving down the street and seeing one line going across. It's super annoying. And the microfiber towel is really good at getting those little spots. This looks good to me. Last thing you want to do is pull up your windshield wipers. Now my medium pile microfiber towel, take a little bit of glass cleaner, and I'll squirt it in a straight line, just like that. And then I'm going to take my fingers and pinch the rubber, just like that. So take it inside the microfiber towel, hold this end, pinch, and wipe all the way down. And now you're getting off all the junk that's accumulated on there. So now that your windshield is clean, now your wipers can be clean too. Now that we cleaned the outside of the glass, it's important to focus on the inside of the glass. But one of the big problems that I see a lot of people run into is they come from the driver's side seat. So if you're sitting in here and you want to reach these areas, you have to kind of battle or fight the steering wheel, which is not a great option. So what you need to do is come from the passenger side seat. What you want to do is put your left knee right in the middle of the seat, and eventually you're going to put your left hand right here. But before you do that, you're going to take your cleaner, 2 squirts on a rag. And what you're going to do is take your glass cleaning towel and get all the way in the corner and go up and down and then go horizontally to get in there. And if you noticed, I put my right hand here, and as I go and clean that corner, I flip it upside down and put my left hand so that I can get stable before I get all the way to the edge. Now, if you're working before from the seat, you just wouldn't be able to reach it. One of the big things that I get a lot in emails is, how come I don't spray the glass just like this? And the answer is, when you spray the glass, there's mist that comes down on the dashboard. And because we're all OCD watching these videos, is you want to go and you wipe the dashboard. But the big thing is, we're going to have it nice and clean. There's going to be dressings on there sometimes, and the plastic itself does what we call gassing out. So it's going to release all these plasticizers. And what you do is when you wipe it and you put it back on the glass, it's going to smear everywhere, and basically you're going to be what we call chasing the glass. It's going to keep pushing it around and never get it clean. 2 squirts, put it in your right hand, take your right hand, flip it upside down, and get into the corners. That's what's going to allow you to clean the glass properly without blowing out your back. Cleaning the inside of the windshield is pretty hard on your body, and these little tools actually make it easier for you. This is, I don't know, $5 or $10. What you do is you can just slide it down the glass, and it'll reach the far areas that some people can't reach. And they actually work pretty good. Just get a microfiber, 1 or 2 squirts, reach it down there, and now that's all you have to focus on is the top part of the glass, not the lower part. This will save your back. Now, if your car has a door frame like this one all the way to the top, you're going to put the window down a few inches, take your towel, pinch it, and just get the top of the window before you put it back up. All right, so I got all the junk off that. Pull it back up. Then you're going to do a few squirts here, a few squirts there. You're going to work the edges first. One edge to one edge, up, all the way around. And you're going to go right in the middle. 1, 2, 3, like this. And then go back the opposite direction. Flip it over, dry side. And now you got a nice, clean piece of glass. Repeat that process for the rest of the car, and you'll be looking good. Although it can be time-consuming and hard work, Regularly cleaning your glass will minimize buildup and maximize visibility. For a step-by-step PDF of how to clean your glass, visit ammonyc.com. That's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching another episode of Drive Clean right here on the Drive Network.
Yeah. Here we go. All right. Up here. Put that in your intro. Yeah. Waiting to hear like